In the heart of Persia, during the 18th century, there was a name that struck fear into the hearts of kings and emperors, Nader Shah. His rise to power was not marked by noble birth or political alliances, but by sheer grit, genius, and an unrelenting thirst for revenge. Nader was born to a humble family, the son of a poor farmer. The stories of his early life were no different than that of many young men from the harsh lands of Khorasan. He lived through hardship, witnessed injustice, and became known for his cunning intellect and sharp military mind. What set him apart, however, was the fire that burned within him, a fire fueled by the betrayal of his family and the invasion of his homeland by the Afghan marauder, Mahmud. When the Afghans swept into Persia, they looted, pillaged, and desecrated the lands Nader called home. His family was murdered, his village razed to the ground, and Persia, once a mighty empire, lay in ruins. But where others saw ruin, Nader saw opportunity. He rallied the broken remnants of his people, offering them not just hope, but vengeance. Nader's army grew, not with silver and gold, but with the blood of men who shared his burning desire for retribution. He was a man of no aristocratic lineage, no royal favor, just an indomitable spirit that ignited the hearts of every soldier who followed him. And follow him they did. In battle, Nader was a force of nature. He employed tactics so brilliant they became legendary, feigned retreats to lure enemies into traps, surprise night attacks that shattered entire armies, and a mastery of logistics that allowed his soldiers to strike fast, hit hard, and disappear before the enemy could retaliate. It was during one of these campaigns that he captured the formidable Afghan ruler, Mahmud. As Nader stood over his prisoner, the once mighty invader groveling at his feet, Nader's eyes burned not with hate, but with a cold, triumphant resolve. "You took everything from me," he said, "but I will take back everything you have." And in the years that followed, he did just that. Nader's victory over the Afghans was only the beginning. His campaigns took him across Central Asia, to the gates of India, and deep into the heart of the Ottoman Empire. His conquests were swift and brutal, but always calculated. There were no unneeded massacres, no plundering beyond what was necessary. Nader Shah was no mere warlord. He was a reformer at heart, believing that a unified Persia was the key to reclaiming its lost glory. Yet, as his empire expanded, so did his ambition. With the Persian throne now firmly in his grip, Nader sought to position himself as a king above all others. His court was adorned with treasures plundered from Delhi, where he famously sacked the city and took the famed peacock throne. It was said that the throne, which was so beautiful it had no equal in the world, was a symbol of Nader's belief that his empire would shine like a jewel among the nations. But with power came isolation. Nader, once the people's hero, began to trust no one, not even those closest to him. His paranoia grew, and his grip on the empire tightened to a suffocating degree. His once loyal generals began to question his decisions, his cruelty, and his ever-expanding lust for control. Whispers of his tyrannical rule spread through his court, and even those who had once fought beside him in the fires of war began to fear him. In the final days of his reign, as Nader's mind turned darker, he was assassinated by those who had once adored him. A group of his own officers, emboldened by his madness and fear of their own demise, struck him down. The great Nader Shah, the conqueror of empires, was no more. His death marked the end of an era. Persia, though still mighty in parts, never fully regained the power it had under his reign. Yet, the legend of Nader Shah lived on, a tale of rise and fall, of vengeance and ambition, and of a man who, for a brief moment, had held the world in his grasp. And though